Friday. Good morning. Oh, how you doing, baby? You doing good?
I'm good, man. How you been?
Can't complain, brother.
How,
Living
how,
life.
which way is your money riding on the Super Bowl game?
I'm going KC, bro.
Yeah,
I'm going. I think Chris Jones is going to blow the shit up. I think he's going to cause all kinds of havoc.
against
And
that Eagles offensive line.
yeah, exactly. Well, I think Chris Jones can cause havoc against anybody. He's one of those kind of guys that I think
Hmm. Yeah,
I don't think there's a lineman that really is going to control Chris Jones. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, you would agree with that, right? I mean, he's just one of those
No,
freaks.
he
Yeah.
is. You know what? I've had the pleasure of watching him work at Bommarito, and it has truly for multiple years, and it has truly been an honor to see how hard he works and to see, there's certain guys and the personality, and he's about as genuine as it comes. He trains down here, he works hard. And it doesn't matter when I show up at Bommaritos, he's always there, and I can respect that.
Yeah, and for a big dude, he can move, man, which is pretty
Yeah,
impressive.
very
So,
agile.
this is what I'm gambling on. I'm gambling on that, and Hertz wasn't accurate in the NFC Championship game. So, I think they're gonna be disruptive up front,
Hmm.
and I think the KC secondary is a little underrated,
Yeah.
and I think they're up for the challenge. And if you try, you're gonna have to try to make Hertz perfect that day, and if you can do that, I think maybe you can, get him to be, inaccurate or
I think they're
or
going to lean on the run game, but I do hear what you're saying. I got money riding on Kansas City. I bet them to win the Super Bowl, probably 2 months ago.
Mhm.
Um, right. And, obviously I'm leaning that direction, but I'm pretty uncomfortable about the bet because I think the Eagles probably are the most complete team in the NFL. Now,
I'm
the
gonna
what
ride I'm gonna ride Mahomes as the better quarterback, and
yeah,
and and that's why I'm
I do worry about Jalen Hurts. I think there's an arm issue. I think there's an injury, and I think it could hinder him. And good coaching and good game planning could make him expose the fact that hey, he can't throw an out with zip on it. So I'm curious to see what happens. But I do have money riding on Kansas City, so I will be pulling for Kansas City.
yeah, I will bet on Kansas City. I'm gonna take the points. I'm gonna see if maybe another half point comes in because right now it's a point and a half Eagles, and I'm counting on the East Coast bias there, to maybe raise it to 2 points by game day. Who knows? Then it goes to one, and I'm screwed. But yeah, I'm leaning to KC. Before I get into any Dolphins related stuff,
Point and a
what do you
half is
think?
basically a pick 'em, though.
Yeah, definitely. Sean Payton going to Denver. Uh,
When we
your thoughts
talked,
on that?
when we talked last, I mean, I thought Denver was the best job, and we've had this conversation multiple times.
Mhm.
I didn't think he was going to take a job in that cycle because I really didn't think that there were very good jobs. But Denver has a good ownership group. Um, they've got a quarterback who, with the exception of last year, was on the trajectory to be in the Hall of Fame. Now he's with the quarterback whisperer of all quarterback whisperers. So if anybody can fix Russell Wilson's game, it would be Sean Payton. He's got a defense that's they chew nails. I think they finished like sixth in the NFL last year.
Yeah.
So defense has never really been his forte, and they've got a good running back. They've got good wide receivers. Uh, I don't obviously they got to put a lot into their offensive line, but that can be done in one off season, as the Dolphins have shown you many years. Not to say that they've ever completed the job, but injuries oftentimes impacted that. But Sean Payton is not in cap hell, and he's annually been in cap hell with the New Orleans Saints. And now it's interesting to see what he can do as as an evaluator and a team builder. I know he built the Saints, but he was always in cap hell and always had a quarterback from the jump.
As you get older and older people, they kind of lose a filter, correct? You come
Yes, you can look
you
forward to it.
you come into this world without a filter, you leave this world without a
Yes.
filter.
You
Okay?
think he lost his filter?
Let me finish.
All right, let me
Okay.
let me, let me hear this out.
All right. So Terry Bradshaw. Did you catch Terry Bradshaw?
No.
Oh, he's hanging out with Vic Lombardi.
Okay.
And he says about Peyton, we hung with him, established a clear foundation for his basis of knowledge about Peyton's references. We would talk and he would talk and talk and talk. And then it slowly started to get more and more interesting. I'd say, you can't go to Charlotte, Bradshaw says. That's the NFC South. Okay, fine, makes sense. No controversy there. You can't go to Houston, Bradshaw says. They don't have a quarterback down there, and you don't want to be in Houston. That one seemed a little odd. They didn't have a quarterback when Payne went to New Orleans, and it all worked out. And I'd love to know more about what Terry against the Houston, unless it's just an Oilers thing from the late 70s. But then it's good. Bradshaw was asked about Peyton coaching the Cardinals and quarterback Kyler Murray. He didn't want to work with that quarterback, Bradshaw says.
Nah.
And then Lombardi swooped in the hammer. He says he'd rather work with Russ. I don't think so, Bradshaw says, busting out with a big old Louisiana laugh. But that's all he's got. He's got no choice. But I'll tell you one thing, he'll get the most out of him. So I think he really wanted the Houston job or the Carolina job. I don't think he wanted Arizona or Denver, which
Houston or Carolina, they don't have a quarterback. That doesn't make any sense when you say that. And you could talk about the picks, but none of these quarterbacks, maybe the Kentucky kid, are going to be instant add water.
CJ Stroud, maybe CJ Stroud or something. I don't know. I mean,
he's too tiny. He's not.
But here's the thing, and like he just mentioned, he didn't have a quarterback in New Orleans, and it ended up working out for him. You know what I mean? But my point is, I don't think a lot of people want to deal with the Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson mess. You know what I'm saying?
I think they would rather deal. I think they would rather do. Like let's be real about this. Let's separate them.
Dude, he already drew the line. He'll said, yeah, Russ's trainers aren't in here anymore. They're done.
Yeah, I heard that. Let's separate both quarterbacks, because it's not fair to Russell Wilson that you're putting Kyler Murray on Russell Wilson. Yes, they are both African American small quarterbacks.
No, that has nothing.
No, we're doing the comparison. We're doing the comparisons.
It's not about athleticism. It's not about color, Omar.
No.
It's about baggage. Come on.
There are a lot of quarterbacks with baggage.
Let's not try to stir it up with something it's not.
No. There are a lot of quarterbacks with baggage. Russell's baggage is different than Kyler's baggage.
Okay, but it's baggage.
Every quarterback comes with baggage. You don't think Tua comes with baggage?
Exactly. I've said that I've said it many times, that with Tua and with Tebow and with certain guys, they are lightning rods. It's different kinds of lightning rods, but they're lightning rods.
It's about which quarterback do you want to work with. And I get it. Everybody's saying that Russell is washed. Russell is not, Russell didn't have a center the entire season. Russell had a putrid offensive line. Now, is that an excuse for how he played? No. Russell had a bad head coach, bad offense, and was learning an offense. There's so many excuses or justifications. I call them excuses, but they can be classified as justifications why Russell Wilson struggled in the way that he struggled. Kyler's play has been consistent. It's street ball till he gets injured.
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of people will say that's Russell Wilson's game as well. Russell Wilson plays street ball. I don't necessarily agree. I think Russell Wilson has been a traditional pocket quarterback, not a street ball quarterback. Can I say that maybe age is catching up to him? Yeah, possibly. But
maybe.
But think about it. Quarterbacks are now so protected that they're playing till they're 40. Like, how does all of a sudden Russell Wilson go from the winningest quarterback in the NFL at his stage to, a Super Bowl winner, trajectory on the Hall of Fame, to all of a sudden a dud in one season? I say bad line and bad coaching. Now, it could be age and durability and injury and unfamiliarity with the offense. Yeah, but maybe those factors change. The only thing that doesn't change is the age. And if it is going to be age, okay, then it's a bad investment. And hell, teams make bad investments all the time and they move on from them. Sean Payton, there's no shame in him giving it a year with a guy who is on a Hall of Fame trajectory. And if it doesn't work out, he moves on. I promise you.
You could tell, by the way, he was given that green light right there. Like, he took over the job and said, hey, guys, I'm going to try the best with him, but you got to understand, if it doesn't work, I've got to move on. Because clearly when he walked in and said, yeah, there'll be his, like, I'm sure they're going to eliminate his office. I'm sure they're going to, he already said they're not going to bring his trainers in. So that,
yeah,
I think those are,
but no matter who was hired, they weren't going to bring his trainers in.
I think those are the diva things that they want to eliminate, and people didn't want to deal with, I guess. I don't know, but that's kind of what it is. I'm with you on the play side. It's hard to think a guy that threw 25 touchdowns and 6 interceptions last year all of a sudden, fell off the earth when 2 years ago he's throwing 40 touchdowns. So it's hard to think that in the what he did last year represents anything that he was the 2 years before that when he was playing stellar football. And so, yeah, I'm with you. It's kind of screwed up to see how the drop-off went that way. When you really look at it physically, it doesn't look like he's broken down. Like some guys, you see them, Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees,
absolutely.
Peyton Manning.
Yes.
Like, oh, shit. It's like, whoa.
It's falling off a cliff. Yes.
Right.
And you can make that argument. You can make that argument for him. I think it was a lot of bad coaching. When I watched the Denver Broncos,
right.
I watched the Denver Broncos, I looked at it and I saw bad line play, bad coaching, and any quarterback is going to struggle in that situation.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if he can actually,
but
all of
offensive. That. I mean, think about from a team standpoint, they had the best situation in the offseason. And here's the thing. People can say, oh, he wasn't their first choice. And I do agree that he wasn't their first choice. But I think the part of the reason that he wasn't their first choice is because of the price tag and the power he needed. But the man got $18 million.
And compensation.
The man got $18 million a year. Like, you could call me whatever you want. If you're paying me twice what everybody else is making, I'm good with it.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. So does it work?
It's Sean Payton. I can't, outside of Andy Reid, I don't know if I can name a better coach in the NFL. So I would have to say it does work. And yes, I know people are going to say, Bill Belichick, okay. Yeah, show me Bill Belichick winning without Tom Brady. And I know he's won twice without Tom Brady, but I'm sorry. You can't have the greatest quarterback of all time. And
he's never won a Super Bowl without Tom Brady as a head coach.
No. Yes, he, not as a head coach. But no. Sean Payton's only won 1 Super Bowl. Belichick's won 6. But I would argue to you that Belichick is that Belichick. I don't believe I think Belichick can't coach an elite offense without Tom Brady. That's just.
There's just a part of me that thinks this is going to be a disaster.
Oh, in Denver?
Yeah. I don't know why, dude. I just think this is going to be a disaster.
I'm curious to see what his staff looks like, and I'm dying to see.
Because while he had good personnel people,
mm-hmm.
It was one of those things that
coaches line up to go work with coaches like that. Coaches line up to go work with coaches like that.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta see. I gotta see it to believe it, man. Because he was doing some funky stuff after Breeze left. You're believing in this, Taysom Hill guy and all that kind of stuff. And I almost felt like there was this ego, like, well, it's my system and I can just plug anybody in. And I kind of like, it's like, no, dude, you just can't. I get it. You all saw Joe Gibbs do it. So you think everybody else can do it. But go look at the teams that Joe Gibbs had. Okay. That's why he was able to win with 3 different quarterbacks, because they were so loaded on offense and defense, and those lines were as dominant as they could possibly get. And there was no salary cap in those days. So you could have Darryl Green on one end and the fun bunch on the other side, and John Riggins, and you can, have Dexter Manley just terrorizing defenses, and you can have the Hogs, and so it was a different era of football in those days. So maybe you could do that kind of shit and get away with it. But in today's NFL, do you think you're going to be able to maintain Art Monk and all those guys together for all those years?
I mean, the model is what the Dolphins are working with right now, which is you have a young, inexpensive quarterback, and he won't be inexpensive for much longer. But build your strong core, build your team, draft well, have young cheap talent on your roster till you have to pay your quarterback. Well, Denver's in a reverse situation, but I think they do have a good foundation. I think they do have a good team. Let me look up what their cap situation is, because
by the way, do you know that the Dolphins, as bad as the whole concussion thing was this year, if you want to find one small bright spot, one small one, like really tiny, but it actually could be really big. See, now Tua has no shot at getting an extension anymore. He's going to get his 5th-year option picked up.
Yes. Okay.
Listen to him. No, relax again. Relax. He's going to get his 5th-year option picked up. So if he kicks ass and stays healthy next year, then he'll get a new contract. It won't start till year 6. So you technically bought yourself another window, because that 5th year is only $22.5 million. Cap went up $16 million this year. It'll go up another $10 or $16 million next year. And so the $22.5 million salary in year 5 will not be nearly as bad. And then
did you freeze? What happened here? What happened?
Okay.
You're back. Okay, you're back.
I don't know if,
all right.
Let's see if Omar's back.
Can you hear me?
There he is. Oh,
okay.
now you got me, right?
Yes.
So now the 5th year is the $22.5 million, which becomes a bargain in today's world, as you know, very manageable. And then follow me. Hold on a second. Then you get the new contract, and that first year is a lowered number anyways.
Yeah.
So you kind of technically bought yourself 2 more years to kind of build the team around him and make that run, is what I'm saying. If he would have kicked ass this year, it would have been over, because he would have.
He did kick ass this year.
No, but what I mean is,
quarterback in the NFL.
In his case, kicking ass is playing 16, 17 games, is what I mean. That's what I mean. If he stays healthy and plays, we all know he can play. That part is over already. Enough of that shit.
Is it? Because I mean,
well, listen. If people want to be ignorant out there and think that he can't play, well, then whatever, bro. Go. You probably think the election's rigged too. So listen. So the bottom line is that they kind of technically bought themselves an extra year to stay in that rookie deal thing. That, hey, like, as you know, the Bills are now going to go through hell. The Chargers are already talking about cutting Keenan Allen and cutting people, because, that cheap ass owner has got to now pay Herbert, because Herbert doesn't have an injury history right now. So now you've got to pay him because he's completed year 4. Unlike Tua, that, he's got to wait another extra year because of that. So for me, in a way, that's just a one little bright spot, that it bought the team in the front office time to make that championship run before you've got to pay the guy. And then, you know what I mean? For Ross, it won't be as bad as because Ross doesn't mind having that money in escrow. Dean Spanos for the Chargers, he's got to put that money in escrow for Herbert. Oh, my God, that's going to cripple the rest of the team. His cheap ass.
Listen,
you know it.
I pride myself on being one of the best NFL guys when it comes to the business in the NFL. And I really think that I've spent a decade teaching young writers how to understand the business of the NFL. And I'm glad that you mentioned that. There are teams that are cap strapped. I mean, not cap strapped, but teams that are cash strapped. And there are teams that are not cash strapped. The Dolphins have always had the luxury. Steve Ross will spend when he's ready. When you say you need to spend, Bradley Chubb, no problem. He'll spend. If he needs to spend to create cap space, He'll spend. He'll extend Tyreek Hill. He'll extend Jerome Baker. I'm just throwing out names. I'm not saying that I
Right.
do these things. He'll do what he did do it last year.
But the most important part is all those signing bonuses is money that's in escrow.
Yes.
And he has to bro, that's fluid. That's less liquid cash that he's got to put on the side.
Yes.
That shit is real, dude.
Yes,
okay, well, you got to do that.
Whereas there are other owners like the Raiders or the Chargers who are not in positions to do that. So that's why I've always respected and appreciated Steve Ross. I don't necessarily agree with you on it buys Miami time. Because I knew and said from the beginning, even before the concussions, I'm not extending him. I'm giving him the 5th-year option.
Well, yeah, but Doggy, if he would have stayed healthy all year,
I still wouldn't have done it. Still wouldn't have done it. I need.
But
they
would have done it.
They do a lot of stupid things. Yes, you're right. As an organization, they do a lot of stupid. I'm curious.
Most teams would have started the negotiations if the kid stays healthy all year and plays the way he played. My God, can you imagine his stats? If he adds the games he missed, shit.
I still wouldn't have done it. That's why the 5th-year option is there. I hated the fact that the Dolphins gave Ryan Tannehill a contract as opposed to triggering his 5th-year option before he'd even proven anything. I would need and have to see Tua do it for 2 years. Once I see you do it for 2 years, health not even factoring in. Once I see you do it for 2 years, I'll pay you whatever. And I'm very curious what the Jalen Hurts contract will be because he's going to have to get a contract this year. He's probably going to be a $200 million quarterback. That contract is probably going to set the shelf for where Tua's contract is going to be. And basically, I need to figure out how I need to build and how I need to maneuver to be able to afford that if that's the route that we're going. And I definitely do believe that that's the route we're going. I think I'm happy that that's the route we're going. But they have a 2-year window. They truly do have a 2-year window to build it before they got to tear it down. And that's just the nature of where the NFL is in this economy. And this business cycle. You've gone from 4-year windows to probably 3-year windows. And right now, the way that they moved last year with the Bradley Chubb, with the Tyreek Hill, with the Teron Armstead, that year's already started. So now you're at a 3-year window. You finish 1 year. You're entering 2-year window to really make a push at it. And that's why they made that Bradley Chubb move. Did I agree with it? Not really. Did I support it? Not really, but I understood it.
Yeah, no. And actually it worked out and didn't work out because because it's kind of funny because you really needed him because Ogba got hurt the week right after you acquired him, but it didn't work out because he didn't do exactly what you needed him to do. But then it works out again now because you now got Vic Fangio, who knows him, knows how to use him, knows how to maximize him.
Yeah.
So,
and the amount of
and by the way, maybe the front office and the coach says, let's get him. We're going to get Fangio next year anyway, and they'll work together.
Okay, maybe they did. You're right. You are right. They did. But the thing that the Fangio thing was a bidding war. Like, even just put some respect on Steve Ross's name on that one as well. Like,
he was coming here the entire time. He's just an old school dude that got pissed off that his agent let the shit out. And then when Mike Silver calls him, he's the same old grumpy old guy, says, oh, I haven't signed anything yet.
No.
And then Mike Silver ran with that and say, well, his relationship with Shanahan, he was never going back to Denver with Peyton. He was never going to San Francisco. He was coming here the entire time.
His
mom is here in Florida. His family's in Philly. He chose the family side. The girlfriend will fly over from the West Coast. That's it, bro. It's over. It's done. That's it. He was always coming here. He's just an old school guy. That's why his statement when it came out, he'll address and take over when the Super Bowl is over. He wanted to respect the Eagles, that he was doing a job for them, and he's paid for the job through the end of the season. And the end of the season is this Sunday. So to me, it was just an old school guy that does things the right way. and he didn't want it the modern way where it gets out on social media. That's
all of a sudden, Sean Payton is in the mix for a job again, and Fangio's like, whoa, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Fangio never said that. Fangio never said that. He never said, wait a
Listen,
minute. He never said anything. Never said anything.
Mike Silver's one of the best in the business.
That's right. And listen to his quote. All he says, nothing's finalized. I haven't signed anything. Because he's working for somebody else, Omar.
Okay, I can respect that.
Mike Silver just got one quote from him and then ran in a completely different direction on his own and threw the Shanahan thing, which was, he never threw the Denver thing. He threw the Shanahan relationship in there, which had nothing to do with it, and it was never going to happen.
You going through this with a fine-tooth comb. Listen, it's
That's
a very
usually
simple,
what I do.
It's a very simple proposition to me. Steve Ross pays the most. Steve Ross
no. The Waltons have just as much money for they own Walmart, bro. They own.
I get it. They got a lot of money, but Steve Ross's history of being Big Daddy.
They have more money than the Federal Reserve, dude. Come on, they don't lack money. It wasn't a money thing. It was a principle thing, dude. It had nothing to do with money. He was going to get paid no matter what.
Yeah. And that 49ers job might have been appealing. Might have been.
No. Let me explain something to you. Both Denver and San Francisco have better made defenses right now. Yep. And the Denver one is in his style, his players. He knows them already. So all those jobs would have been easier for him. The fact that he took this job tells you that he was dead set on taking this job, not any of the other ones. He wasn't linked to anything else. He was linked to Miami last year. He's always been linked here, and it ended up happening. The only thing is the old man wanted it to happen after the Super Bowl. Now, here's the next step. As you say, I look into it a little too much. I need to follow up. Does he fire his agent after this is done? That's what I want to know in the next couple months.
His agent's also McDaniel's agent. So his agent got him the highest paid contract in the NFL for defensive coordinator.
That's another reason why that was going to happen. I mean, come on, man. They probably called his ass, said, hey, tell us a little bit about Bradley Chubb before we trade for him. Okay, we'll see you next year.
They probably did. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. I'm sure they had a conversation about Bradley Chubb. So,
go ahead.
It'll be curious to see what kind of defense and what style. And I'm an Ogba fan. You put Ogba with Jalen Phillips and then Bradley Chubb. Those are three, and then Christian Wilkins. I won't disrespect Christian. I'm not sure he's going to get that extension this year. We'll see. Yeah, man, that's a lot of money.
He'll get the extension, bro. They're not going to draft and develop the guy and then let that guy go. Those days are done. They keep their good players.
Yeah,
these guys here, they're not like the other guys. These guys here.
Is Christian Wilkins a top 5 paid defensive tackle?
Hell yeah!
All right.
Hell yeah!
All right.
Did you watch his ass this year?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Is he Chris Jones? Is he Aaron Donald?
Nobody is Donald and Jones, you jerky. I knew you were going to start with that.
Hey,
okay.
How many notches? And
then you know what? I'll put Quinnen Williams in front of him, and that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
What about the Giants kid?
That's it. I'm just putting the Jets kid. I'm just putting the Jets kid in front of him, and barely by a hair. Okay, out of respect, because the guy's a player. I've watched that guy. That guy's a player. I'll put Wilkins right up there with anybody 4 or 5 right there. He's right up there, dude. He's a stud, dude. He helps in everything, man, and he's a leader too. That's the other thing,
Yes.
I just think he's just a great example for your team.
Leonard Williams. Is he Leonard Williams?
Yeah, he's right around there.
Yeah, around there.
Yeah, he's in the same ballpark. That we're splitting hairs when we're talking about those guys.
Okay,
he's awesome, dude. He is absolutely.
He's a very
This,
good player. He's a very
look at
good player. Let it,
his stats, his play this year
all right.
was
Okay.
absolutely sick. And let me tell you, get him a secondary, and everybody's numbers up front gets better.
Ooh,
That's the
good
scary part.
point. Good point.
Okay.
Good point.
So, I just what'd you think of Tua firing Lee Steinberg and like kind of allowing the PR people kind of to take over everything now?
I always found it very odd that he had two teams, athletes first, and then Lee Steinberg. And I have respect for Lee Steinberg. I think probably he felt more comfortable with them, and or more relatable to them. And maybe the relationship with Steinberg got strained. I don't know. I always found it odd that he had two teams. One
Yeah.
was handling marketing, one was his agent.
Usually you have the same company, same guy, and it's not like Steinberg doesn't have a marketing team.
Yeah, no, it didn't make any sense to me. But then Tua, a lot of things about Tua doesn't make any sense to me.
But
I'm just being honest.
No, but then again, listen. Also, I got to look at it this way: if you're a young man, you're coming out of college, you're coming out with that hip injury and all of that, and you see a Lee Steinberg approach you, who's got that experience,
Yeah,
that foundation, and
like
where you're at
cachet.
right
Yeah,
now, that you've got to resell yourself.
yeah.
Who better than to hire somebody as well connected and well respected as Lee Steinberg? So I kind of understand where that relationship builds. And then obviously Lee Steinberg and quarterbacks, dude. That's like,
Yeah, no, yeah. The Lee
you know what I
Steinberg
mean?
is
He's got Pat Mahomes. It's not like he's got quarterbacks. So, and he's always had quarterbacks. Lee Steinberg has always had a ton of quarterbacks. So I can
he
see
was a
where
gold
that
standard for agents
manifests.
until he was a gold
Right.
standard for agents before he fell off.
Right.
For
And by the way, I respect him more for that
yeah,
because he came back from alcoholism. You know what I mean?
yeah.
To me, if you're able to look, man, everybody has demons, and if somehow or another, if you have a demon that takes you down, if you're able to fight it like he did, I'm really proud of that. Of anybody that out there that has been able to
Mhm.
overcome,
Mike
those kind
McDaniel
of
did it.
adversities. Yeah, exactly. Mike McDaniel did it, man. I find that very impressive when people are able to overcome those kind of things. But I can see where he needed him at that moment, and then I can see now where he wants to maybe consolidate it and make it a little easier, where it's probably not as conflicting. You know what I'm saying? Because he's more established now. You know what But I can see where that
Um,
relates. Some
I,
people think he dropped Lee Steinberg so he could go ask for a new contract, and I've cut that off over the last week. I'm like, dude, that has nothing to do with it. No, he knows, and whoever represents him knows they have no business walking into that building asking for a new contract right now.
I mean,
So
you could ask, but
you can ask.
you could ask. And I'm glad you say that as a board member of the Tua Tonga Valoa Tuanon. I respect that because it's real. You can ask, you're not going to get it, or
No,
if
you don't
you do,
deserve it. You don't
if you do,
deserve it.
huh?
You don't deserve it. No. You don't deserve it. Sorry. Until availability is proven, you can't give it to him. Unfortunately,
That's fair.
I know he can. I've always known he can play. The
Yeah,
only thing I ever had a concern about with the kid coming in was always his
sure.
injury history. And listen, to this year, at least I give him credit. It really wasn't about injuries. It was about head trauma, and never his career was really about head trauma. So maybe if you learn how to manage that, and you get rid of the ball early, maybe you can have yourself a really nice long career.
I
You
don't
can
want him
fix
getting
that.
rid of the ball early. I hate when you say that. I do hate when you
I
say that. I do not want him getting rid of the ball early. The magic of Tua is that he holds onto the ball and he
No, it's not magic.
produces those big plays. Yes, it's magic. It's
No,
got
it's
him
punishment.
rated the #1 quarterback in the NFL. He doesn't have
It's
to play hot potato with the ball like Jay Cutler. I'm sorry. Like,
punishment.
what do you mean?
Punishment. Well,
Listen,
because
all of the plays where he got hurt, except for maybe one, was just plays that are just football plays. They weren't him holding on to the ball too long.
what are
I
you
hate when
talking
you say
about?
that.
And he held on to the ball too long in Alabama two fat guys that wear
Oh,
300
I'm talking the
pounds.
NFL. I'm
Busted
talking
him
the
out.
NFL. Don't do that. Don't do
In
that.
Alabama, he busted his ankle twice in 4 or 5 seconds by
Wow,
holding.
you're
Now he's
gonna
got
bring up.
titanium rods.
Okay,
And
bring up the
then
NFL. I'm talking concussions. Don't do
this
that. I'm
last
talking
one, this
concussions.
last this last one against Green Bay was 4.81 seconds. And he thinks he can outrun people
And he was evading the pressure, which you love when it's
and he
Dan
can't do
Marino,
that.
and then when it's Tua, you hate it. I
No, no,
hate
no,
that.
no. No, Marino doesn't evade any pressure. He
Oh,
makes
Marino
one
evaded
step to the side and throws the ball. Just like Peyton Manning, just like Tom Brady, just like Drew Brees, just like all of these stiffs that their busts in Canton have better movement than they do.
Jim Kelly.
Okay? And that's if Tua wants to end up with a busting Canton, he's got to do the same thing all those great quarterbacks did. They didn't scramble. They didn't run around. They made a quick decision. Or they
Oh,
moved
but Brett
left
Favre
once.
scrambles and runs around, and it's
That
magic.
Brett Favre is an Iron Man. Remember that? Do you remember the nickname Iron Man? That's not Tua.
Aaron Rodgers is scrambles
No,
around,
no,
and
that's an athlete. That's an
oh,
athlete.
okay. And
Yeah,
Tua's not that.
I didn't mention athletes when I mentioned Marino and
All right,
Peyton.
fine.
Okay, when I mentioned Drew Brees, these aren't athletes. They're statues.
He's not
They're
a
Hall of
statue.
Fame statues. The same statue that you see in Canton is the same thing that took a snap. Same thing. Same exact thing.
Jim Kelly wasn't
But
like
they,
that.
but they were just as good as everybody else. They didn't have to move around. You don't really have to move around a ton. You just need to manipulate the pocket, use your eyes, make a quick decision, get rid of the football. Dan Marino never put a shoulder into a defender ever in his life, and he had no plans on ever doing it.
Wow.
None.
Because he ran and put a shoulder into the defender, that's an
Yeah,
exhibit of
fresh off a
athleticism.
concussion. Fresh off a concussion. Remember? And then he goes to the sideline and says, Coach, I needed that. That's when you like smack him on the head and say, what are you, you dumbass? You don't need that. Nobody needs that.
Listen,
No quarterback needs
it's
that.
called football. It's a very physical game, and to get it to we on I Am Athlete, we did sit down with Lawrence Taylor, which is out now on the on YouTube. Very phenomenal sit down with you brought up the old guys. Lawrence Taylor never had a filter. As he's aged, his filter has gotten worse.
Of course.
And he brings up this generation of quarterbacks, and he's like, okay, I can never consider Tom Brady the greatest because Tom Brady, like, you can't touch him. You can't even hit him. You like, he's like, he's like, Joe Montana will always.
And you're trying to talk like Lawrence, by the way, when you're doing those answers.
Yeah. He's like, you can't touch him. Funny moment because he gives his top 5, which is. Yeah, the funniest moment is he gives his top 5 of defensive players, right? And he's listing them off. 2 probably controversial picks in it. You gotta go see his top 5. And then they ask him about Aaron Donald because people will argue that generational players, Aaron Donald and Lawrence Taylor are probably the best defensive players of all time. I don't agree, but I can hear the conversation. And he doesn't have Aaron Donald in his top 5. And then he goes, but I'll put him in there if you want me to. And it was so
who else did he have that he didn't put Aaron Donald in there?
He put Deacon Jones in his top 5. I never saw Deacon Jones play.
Deacon Jones is a badass. Yeah.
He basically said Deacon Jones, he was like, Deacon Jones made people deaf. Like that was
he had the helmet slap. Yeah, when you could get away with that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And he had Ronnie Lott, which I
have no problem with Ronnie Lott in there.
But you put Ronnie Lott over
Aaron Donald?
No, Hurricane defense.
Over Ed Reed?
Yeah.
Yes, because Ed Reed is like Deion Sanders. Both are the best safety cover corner. Ronnie Lott and Rod Woodson are absolutely complete. They were cover guys, but they could also knock your pecker in your
telling
sock.
Me Ed Reed couldn't knock your socks off?
No,
come on, bro.
No,
stop it.
No,
stop
no,
it.
No. no, no, no,
You telling me
no,
Ed Reed
no.
doesn't have decleaters?
No, no. He might have a couple, but
Bro,
it's not Ronnie Lott, bro. Ronnie Lott and guys like that those are the nasty like Steve Atwater types that they brought the house when they hit you, dude. No, no, no,
Atwater,
no,
are
no.
you really
The
like?
physicality of Ronnie Lott can never be compared. Ed Reed doesn't even come close. He's not even the
I
same
didn't say he
strength.
comes close. I would rather have the ball skills of Ed Reed. Ed
No, no,
Reed
but
was
that's what I'm telling you. Ronnie Lott had the same ball skills, just like Rod Woodson had the same ball skills. But the other thing was they were going to knock the shit out of you.
no,
So that's
yeah.
why
Oh,
I've
okay.
always been a guy. I'm the guy that tells you you can have Deion Sanders. I'll take Rod Woodson.
You can
I'm that
have
guy.
Deion
I'm
Sanders, and
that
I'll
guy.
take Rodson. Okay,
Yeah, I'm that guy.
listen,
I'm taking Rod Woodson because Rod Woodson was the ultimate two-way corner. That yeah,
okay.
I know Deion could cover, but Deion ain't gonna give you the same run support that this guy is, and Ed Reed ain't gonna give you the same run support that Ronnie Lott because Ronnie Lott thought like a linebacker, bro. He knocked the crowd. That's the
63.
guy that went to the sideline and said, "Yeah, cut the tip of my finger off. I need to finish the game." You know, it's
Wow. Okay. You know what?
Ronnie Lott is
Considering Ronnie Lott has 63 interceptions and Ed Reed has 64 interceptions, I will concede in this argument.
well, the difference, Omar, is I've watched both of them play.
I watched
I'm
Ronnie
old.
Lott, but I watched the aged
Yeah,
version of Ronnie Lott.
you watched the end of Ronnie Lott. I watched everything of Ronnie Lott, and Ronnie Lott was, and Rod Woodson. Rod Woodson, you everybody talks Deion Sanders, and I get it as a cover corner. Okay, I'll give him the edge, but go look at Rod Wodson's stats and go look at
No,
that
no,
guy.
no, no. And we sat down and we talked to him on I Am Athlete as well.
Rod Woodson is one of the most baddest mofos to ever walk the face of the earth, dude. He is just special. And for me, Ronnie Lott, if Lawrence had him in the top 5, no problem with that, dude. No problem.
Rod Woodson is coaching the XFL, the Vegas
I
Vipers,
know.
right?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
curious. You think XFL takes off?
You know, Omar, I don't think any of these things take off unless the NFL embraces it. And then that way we have a connection and a feeder system
Mm-hmm.
and the back end of your roster, your practice squad players or your
Mm-hmm.
third quarterback, like
Yep.
Skylar Thompson or something is playing.
Mm-hmm.
So now you'll get the Dolphin
Like
Nation.
NFL Europe. Like
Yeah.
NFL Europe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. But again, it can't be Europe. You got to put it here. So now you have a chance where we can go watch them and all those kind of
Watch
things.
them develop. Okay.
Watch them develop. There
I
has to be that
feeder system like the NBA and the G League, where
yeah.
you're sending your players down, and we're curious to see how they play.
Right, exactly. Oh, you're
So
developing that Duncan Robinson kid. Oh, wow, and he's coming back and forth for a 10-day contract. Holy shit, this guy's turning into a player.
So each
That's
XFL team has to be a feeder pattern for like the AFC East and the AFC North. Like you gotta designate.
You're not going to
players.
have 32, but maybe you can have 16 of those teams, and then the 32 teams, 2 teams share one. You know what I mean? And then that way they have players in there. And you know what? They can also, it's a feeder system for their coaches too. That's another thing that they can do because they're what's it called? What are those quality control coaches and all?
Yeah,
You can
okay.
send those guys down in the off season if they want, so they can start to develop their skills as a tight ends coach.
I like your game. I like your plan. I would, in fact, also say I want it in Europe because you got to build that brand of football. And I think that's how you started out. I like the NFL Europe model. I really did.
I enjoyed it too, but we're different. We're football geeks. There's not enough of those people. They need the fringe fan to get on board. That's what takes everything over the top. You know what I'm saying? The hardcore is always going to be there, but it's the other people that you need that join in every week in regular games, playoffs, and the Super Bowl now that will really get even more than the fringe now. We'll get all kinds of people, watching this.
People watching commercials and watching. Oh, yeah, I got to figure out who's performing with Rihanna. They haven't said.
I don't know, but I am looking forward to that one. Actually,
Rihanna's back from
that.
pregnancy. Yeah, maybe she has a new
I'm
song.
a Rihanna fan. I'm a Rihanna fan. I like that. That should
You
be a
going to
very.
the Beyonce concert?
No, no, I can't afford that.
hey, hey, I appreciate the honesty. Like, yeah, I mean,
I'm a concert snob, so I'm
yes,
not going to sit all the way in the back.
yeah.
Okay, I've been to 12, 13,
Hey,
1,400 concerts in my life. If I'm going to go to a concert, I need to be close. And
let me
so,
ask you this question.
and
Let me
plus,
ask you
it's
this one question.
Beyonce. I gotta see her up close if I'm going to do it.
Okay, let me ask you this one question.
Now,
Have you
by the
ever
way,
seen Beyonce?
I gotta be honest. I'm really more of her Destiny Child days than I am her
That's fine.
music.
Let
But
me
that's
ask you
just
this
me.
question. Have you ever seen Beyonce in concert?
No, no,
Oh,
I have
then
not.
you definitely should go. You
Yeah, no, I
definitely.
know it's a show. Unless you put on a
Listen,
production that is
listen.
amazing.
She is the greatest performer I've ever seen in my lifetime, and like there's no close second. And I'm not even a big Beyonce fan. I can't tell you.
Have you been to Bruno Mars?
Yes, I've seen Bruno Mars perform. I wish I would see him perform in Vegas. I would like to see that. But Beyonce, woo, showmanship, performing. I've seen her perform probably about 4 times, like 2 concerts with her husband, once by herself, maybe 3 concerts with her husband. That was in my dating phase, you know.
I've seen her
And
husband. I've seen her husband.
oh, her husband's great. She's phenomenal. She steals she is the show. So I would tell you, it's even worth it just to be in the nosebleed. I've sat in the nosebleed for Beyonce, and it's phenomenal. I would probably,
I know, but I can't. I can't. I just can't do that. I just
yeah.
can't do that.
I've sat in the front too.
It's not in my DNA to sit in the rafters anymore. If I go to a concert, I gotta have good tickets. I gotta be able to see the show up close, feel it,
Oh
see the
yeah.
performance, check out the
I'm
musician.
curious what the concert tickets are going for. Like, you gonna make
Oh,
me
I'm
look it up
sure
now.
they're expensive as hell. Those concerts, that concert ticket. Okay. I mean, Bruce Springsteen just performed, and I love Bruce. I've seen him several times, but I wasn't going to go see him at the Hard Rock because the tickets were absolutely crazy. But I've already seen him for a fraction of that money a whole bunch of times. So it's
Mhm.
like, I've gotten to a point too with some bands that I've seen them so
Holy
much.
shit.
I told you.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Nosebleed
Yeah.
is 550.
Yeah.
Nosebleed.
Yeah, I'm not paying that. Not paying that.
Bro, holy crap.
No, not paying that. So yeah. Unfortunately.
Oh my
There's a
god, it starts at 550. Nosebleed.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Holy crap.
You don't remember, Omar, you don't make any money selling your music anymore because all they do is steal it.
Oh
So
my
you have
god.
the only way they make money nowadays is touring. And she doesn't come out and just sing. She has an entire
Oh
production.
yeah, production.
So there's
But
a
her,
lot of money on the
hey,
stage and the people, man.
have you watched her Coachella performance?
Yeah, no,
On
I've seen yeah, on YouTube I've seen her several times. Yes. Yes.
Oh, Coachella,
Yes.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
that's a good representation of who Beyonce is and what she does on stage.
Yeah,
But
it just
550? Ooh, I'm out, baby. I'm out, B. I'm out.
that's right.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
550?
Yeah, but
I'll go as high. I'll go
is
as high
gonna
as
be
350 a ticket. That's
yeah.
the height.
All right.
550?
Yeah. Yeah.
Woo, B.
Yeah, that's the kind of money I pay for, I don't know, you two
What
at Madison Square Garden right up front, or something like that. That I have to okay, or I'm going to Dublin, Ireland or something and see you two and I'm up front and I'm paying $300, $400. Okay, I got to do that for something like that. I'm at London O2 Arena to go see whatever Metallica, and
so that basically comes up because that one doesn't even give you the ticket master charge. So that comes up to basically 2 tickets, $1,300 in the nosebleeds.
I'll give you a great example. You said how much it was? $500-$600 for the nosebleeds?
550. Yeah.
550. Okay. I just paid for Mexico City in 2024 to go see Metallica, Greta Van Fleet, and Pantera. I paid $400. I'm up front for 2 nights. So I
Why would
get
you
to
go to
see
a concert for
Metallica
2
and the
nights?
other bands in 2 concerts because it's 2 concerts, no repeats. So they're playing 2 full concerts, not 1 repeated song. So you're getting 2
Oh, word!
full, yes, you're getting 2 full sets of
Oh,
Metallica.
shit! That's dope!
Exactly.
That's
Right, but
dope!
of course that's dope.
Hold on, for 2 nights, you got
Yeah,
400 a ticket or 400 to
400 a ticket for the 2 nights. Okay? That's not a bad
okay.
deal.
That's not a
It's not a
bad
bad deal.
deal. Not for they're
Now,
gonna
now, now
play.
I do have to fly. Now I do have to fly to Mexico City. I do have to get a hotel, but I am going to be there for 4 days, so I'll get to hang out. I'll see Mexico City. I'll go see some ruins and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah,
and
you
then
make
I'll
a
see
vacation
2
around it.
freaking amazing concerts, and I'm in the freaking pit. So it's like
Hey, I would love to see a Jay-Z concert, no repeats. That's dope.
well, that's
Not
the kind of
not
shit Metallica does. So,
wow.
but and so I paid less than that for that concert, and
And it's two.
I'm gonna get something that is super special out of it because I get to see, I don't know, 45 songs, 50 songs,
Yeah.
and not one of them repeated 2 nights in a row, which to me is amazing because that means they will not play Enter Sandman in 2 concerts, which you would figure Enter Sandman for Metallica is in every single concert. So, but the thing is, everybody that went that first night is going to the second night. So they
That is a
already got their
phenomenal concept of a concert.
yeah,
Phenomenal. No
yeah,
repeats.
yeah. And by the way,
Like
I'm doing the same concert in Quebec, in Canada this August. I'm flying up for that.
the exact
So
same concert? Why would you
same thing, 2 nights, 2 different concerts. Yes.
for
So I
same
don't know how
bands?
many.
Hold on, same
So
bands?
same band, yeah. But I'm seeing them this year in 2023 in August. The other one is in 2024 in September. So I'm sure that in those 4 concerts, I will still get different music. Also, it won't be the same because that's not what Metallica does. They kind of change up their sets all the time. So yeah.
That's I want to go see a Vegas residency. Somebody I don't really care who it is, but I've never seen a Vegas residency performance.
Okay.
But that would mean I'd have to go to Vegas, and I really I'm not a Vegas fan. I hate Vegas, to be honest with you. Like
Love Vegas. Love Vegas. And I go for none of the stuff that everybody else goes for. It's not really about just gambling and Lamar Odom whore chasing and bachelor parties. No, it's for concerts, for shows, the Pinball Hall of Fame, food. That's what I like to do, bro. And
I I'll take
Fremont
another.
Street, which is a blast now. Fremont Street is pretty cool. A lot of things to do. There's a lot of things to do, bro, when you go to Vegas.
I'll
You know,
try it again eventually. I'm sure I'll be forced to.
give it a
So
chance to do other things that are that
no,
have.
I do other things. I don't find gambling and certainly
No, I know you're not.
I don't
I
need
know you're not
horrors.
the gambler and the
Yeah,
and the party guy, all that stuff. That's never
yeah.
been you. I know that. But that's what
Oh,
I'm saying.
I'm totally a partier guy. No, don't
No,
do
but
me like that. Yeah.
you know the kind of partier that I'm
Oh,
talking about.
the horrors. Okay, yes,
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and coked out and wasted and thrown on the, that's not who you are. I get it. You can have a couple drinks like the rest of us. I
Yeah,
get that, dude. But
people
I'm
don't
talking about
realize I
those
don't
guys
even
that
drink
go to
anymore.
get like, the guys that go to get to completely in the sewage. You know what I'm saying? That's not really what I want to do. It's just like, that doesn't attract me, overall. But there's
I could do that. I don't, and that's the thing about living in Miami. You spoil yourself because Miami, it's as debaucherous as you want it to be. Like you don't have to go to Vegas to do
I know,
debauchery. Like this
right? Exactly. Give me a break.
debauchery is like 20 minutes away from me. Like
All over the place.
so.
South Beach has got it all,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
it's everywhere over here. Like
Yeah.
so, but yeah. Oh, didn't give you the recap.
Okay.
I should have called you Friday. My anniversary. My wife
Mhm.
actually did take me on a vacation to the Keys. She took me and my daughter on a trip to the Keys. So I
Sandals.
no, we were at a very nice hotel. I can't remember the name of it. It wasn't right. It was at the very top of and it was remodeled and it had a great view of the pier. Because in the Keys, the views of hotels are horrible. And my wife, I've realized this now. My wife needs a great view from her hotel. It's only taken me 7 years to figure this out. And if she does not have a great view from her hotel, she's not going to like it.
Right.
So we were literally at the pier, one of the piers. So you had the view of the boat. We saw the sun come up from our balcony. It was dope. My daughter loved.
Nice.
What key? Key West. It was Key West.
Okay. Oh, it went all the way down. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We went all the way down. Yeah. I don't like any of the other keys.
Oh, Isla Morada's cool. I like Isla Morada.
It's all right.
Yeah. No. No. Have you ever been to Bartender's Weekend back in the day in Isla Morada?
I'm sure I've been to a lot of those places via boat, to be honest with you.
Back in the 80s?
Oh, no.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby. That was fun. Those were the days. All right. Tell them about I Am Athlete, bro.
As I said, we got the Lawrence Taylor interview up now. I'm pretty sure he's going to be doing Super Bowl rounds, but to see a legend talk about, and it really just, that conversation just reminds me about the ageism in football. We forget about the generations. Like Lawrence Taylor created an entire defense. Like he's the man behind that. It's the origins of the 3-4. Like
the ultimate werewolf. The ultimate werewolf.
Yeah, and he told some great stories about how he forgot games and shit like that. How he forgot games the night of the game.
Did you guys ask him about the story when he showed up to practice in handcuffs?
No, I've never heard that one. Yeah, no.
Ask him next time. All right, follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly, baby, and of course catch I Am Athlete. Make sure you subscribe and follow. And catch him every Wednesday here on the platform. Omar, as always, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, bro.
You got it. There you go. Omar Kelly.